everybody, it's Shannon from Skip to My Life and welcome to today's live. I have so many great ideas for you. You can probably see my table is full of organizing ideas. So what we're going to do today, I've got my trusty clock here. We're going to talk about 7 organizing tips for 2023. Now these are kind of trends. Most of them are things you're going to be really glad to see coming because it's going to take some of that pressure off of being perfectly organized like we saw last year and the year before. So I'm excited to get into these. I'm also going to show you some of my very favorite organizing products from Dollar Tree, Walmart, and IKEA. So if you shop at any of those stores, you should be able to find something you like. Now, as always, in the comment section below, there are links to everything I'm mentioning. I've listed prices to some of them. A lot of them are from Dollar Tree, so of course they're $1.25. I also wanted to make you aware that I have some freebies for you. So there is a link below in the description box to 14 pages of free household labels. Now, as you can see, these are 4 to a page, and I have printed them out in a small size. You can see that, but these are adjustable and formattable to fit any size, and I'm going to be showing you some of the containers I use them on as we go through today's little live talk. So comment below and let me know how you are doing today. I have my hot tea here. I had that weird sinus thing going on that everyone was getting, and you think you're over it and then it kind of comes back a little bit. So I've got my hot tea here with my Mother's Day cup. My daughter gave me it. It says, "I love you, Mom." This is, of course, my favorite drink cup. So let's get right into it. The first trend for 2022 is going to be natural versus acrylic. Now, having said that, the Home Edit and all of their wonderful stuff brought to us such beautiful acrylic clear containers. But if you've been to Walmart lately, you've probably noticed that they've just come out with a line that is made with natural material, specifically bamboo. And hi, Amber, good to see you. So most of the organizers like Marie Kondo, Home Edit are going from the clear acrylic to bamboo or to a natural element. Now this is nice for those of us who like organizing containers that aren't see-through, but I'm going to show you a couple acrylic products that I still really love. So it's not to say if you have acrylic products you have to get rid of all of them, but the look this year is just a little bit more natural. My new favorite budget acrylic organizers are these Walmart bins. They are 2 for $10, which I could not believe. They're the Walmart brand. They're the Mainstays brand. And I used them in my recent closet overhaul. So if you saw that one, you know I use these on the top shelves. These have lids. They're a really nice, large, generous size. They're marketed as an oversized shoe container, but I mean, you can use them for everything. As you can see, I put all my scarves in here. They have nice stackable lids. And the other thing I like about them, they have, I don't know if you can see this, but they have vent holes in the side. And so if you are worried about, you know, breathability or things getting molded or mildewed or whatever musky smells, they have vents in these. So these are 2 for $10. I could not believe that when I saw these at Walmart. As you can see, I have labeled them just by creating a little paper label that I can slip in there. And then the nice thing about this is you can label them going horizontally, or you can label them on the short side like this. So whatever works best for you. So these are 2 that I have in my my master closet. If you have not seen that drawer and closet organization video, go back a couple and it's well worth your time. So that's my first most favorite organizer in the acrylic line. The other thing I want to show you, and this is more of a natural look like I'm telling you about, this is a Walmart jewelry stacker. This actually comes in 2 pieces, and you will find this, I've linked to it below, but you will find this when you first go in the door. So Walmart is now competing with the Target Dollar Spot and Dollar Tree and places like that with $3 and $5 items when you first go into the store, and this is one of those. So the thing I love about this is it's got this little knob here for rings, and then it's got slots as well for jewelry. I think this also came in green. You could use these separately. You could put them together and stack them. You could get several and stack them as tall as you want. I am using these. I set it on my dresser, and I just put like the earrings and the jewelry that I wear every day in these, and I don't really want to store. I just want to grab them and go. But they would be great for all kinds of vertical organizing. So keep that in mind. And then the third thing I want to show you is these plastic bins from Dollar Tree. This is not the color it came in. It was white. This is in the Dollar Tree Plus section. If you have a Dollar Tree that has Dollar Tree Plus, you will find this there. They come in white, blue, pink, gray, I think. This was originally white, and I painted it a brown color. I'm going to be talking more about this effect in an upcoming episode I'm doing on a living room redo where I created tons of storage in our small living room. So the first thing I did was to take this from white to a more natural color, and you can see it's got kind of a woven texture to it. So I wanted to make these look more like a natural product, like I'm talking about, versus acrylic. We're going to the natural products. So I am going to do a little bit more work on this to make it look even more like a rattan or a wicker. So keep your eyes peeled for that living room episode coming up. Like I said, this is in the $3 section at Dollar Tree. So you can look for that, and I have linked it below because I know that not all Dollar Trees have the same merchandise. If you want to go online and you want to check out and see, you know, if your store has it, or if you want to show it, sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull it up on the store app or the store website, and I'll show the employee at Dollar Tree, and they'll tell me if they have it or not. Because when you describe it, sometimes you can't really get your mind around it. Okay, so the first trend for 2023 in organizing products is natural versus acrylic, okay? And so the second trend is function versus look. All right, now isn't that a relief? We can all take a sigh of relief, a deep breath, because 2021 and 2022 was all about these Pinterest perfect refrigerators and cupboards and drawers and all of that. But as I have said in so many of my videos, if you don't use it and if it can't stay straight, there's no sense making it look gorgeous and spending all this money. So function over look means do it how you're really going to use it. So if you want to use, you know, containers in your refrigerators or drawers that don't look Pinterest perfect, but you know they're going to work for you, then do that. An example that I'm talking about a lot is just using cardboard boxes. You know, when we look around us, and I just did this in a drawer organizing where I used actually boxes of that the ribbon had come in from Dollar Tree. I asked the merchant, could I please have this empty box? And they were happy to give it to me. They were going to trash it. So start just looking for boxes that have the perfect size, or maybe compartments that are going to work for your organizing projects. You don't have to spend a lot, and it doesn't have to look Pinterest perfect as long as it works for your project. One of the things that I love in this vein is these Dollar Tree locker bins, and these have been a staple for many, many years. You've probably seen a lot of YouTubers haul these. They come in a lot of different colors. They're just a plain white bin, but this rectangular shape with these corners really works in a lot of different places. So keep these in mind if you're doing a pantry or a bathroom reorganization or an under sink reorganization. These are one of my tried and true favorites, and these are still $1.25. They also take spray paint really, really well. So if you wanted a different color, you can do that. The other one of my very, very favorites from Dollar Tree are these drawer organizers. I just used these in my micro organization in this last video where I did the craft room drawers, and I organized them using 3 of these in a drawer. These work really well in almost any drawer or micro organizing category you're gonna take on, and you get either, I'm gonna say 3, but it may be 4 of these for $1.25. You really can't beat the price. They do come in a lot of colors. I always go with white or gray or a neutral color, but you do you. If you like colorful dividers, then go for it. Okay, the other thing I'm going to tell you about is these Dollar Tree floral tins. Now you can see very faintly on there where it had the printing Fleur and Jardin, and this was a silver color, but as you can see, I've spray painted over it with just some matte white. And here are those labels that I'm talking about that I made for you, and they're available to you free if you want to download this today. But these little tins are great organizers, and I use mine for a lot of things. I use it for cleaning rags. I use it, here I'm using it for fabric softener sheets, and they fit in there perfectly. They'd be great drawer dividers. They're just really useful in a lot of different ways. And if you don't mind that tin look, or you like the tin look, there's no need for you to paint it. So these are $1.25 as well. And then lastly, one thing you may not have thought about, most of us have way too many mugs in our house. Raise your hand if you do too. And there's another purpose for those besides drinking out of. You can use those for organizing. So if you want to put them in cabinets, if you want to put pins in them. I got these from Dollar Tree a while back, and I could not find them on their website. They're this adorable pink color. And they'll have these kind of one-offs every once in a while. If you see them, grab them. I use these for organizing all kinds of things in my craft room. Sometimes when I'm doing a project, I'll just lay a bunch of mugs out and use it to separate little items, and then it helps me to kind of figure out what I want to do with those. So don't write off all those mugs you have laying around your house as organizers. Start kind of thinking that way. Okay, so the first trend was natural versus acrylic. Second was function versus look. The third, now we're really getting down to the meat of this, less stuff to store. So if you have heard of the difference between organizing and decluttering, you're gonna know what I'm about to say. I'm gonna take a little sip here. Organizing is moving the stuff that you have around and making it more visually appealing. That's awesome, that's great. But 5 minutes later, we all know it's gonna be completely back where it was. So decluttering, the difference between organizing and decluttering. Decluttering is actually making some of those hard decisions and getting rid of some of that stuff, so you don't have to keep organizing it, okay? Now, this has been a process for me. I'm gonna tell you, it has taken me years. We downsized from a 6-bedroom McMansion to this 3-bedroom, what we call Love Cottage. It's about 1,100 square feet. And it was like peeling back layers of an onion for me. When we first moved, we got rid of about 75% of the stuff we owned. We either gave it away or we trashed it. And I thought, oh, I've pared it down the least that I possibly can live with. But over the last 3 years that we have lived here, I realized no, there's a lot more I can get rid of. And that has to do too with my buying habits. It has to do with how much marketing I'm willing to take in to convince me, because I'm pretty easily convinced that yes, I need the newest, latest, greatest product. So it's food for thought for you. We don't need a lot of organizing products if we have less stuff. So I know that that can be really overwhelming, and that's a lot of what I'm here for you, is hand-holding and showing you that if I could do it, you can do it. But just take one small project. Start with a drawer, start with a closet, and see what you really, really need and what you can get rid of. Make it fit the space you have instead of looking for more space, okay? So that is the third trend, less stuff to store. And I think you're gonna see that in 2023, not necessarily minimalism, but just higher quality goods and fewer of them. Okay, so the fourth trend in 2023 that I am seeing is simpler or no labeling. So one of the ideas I'm showing you here, these are acrylic bins from Dollar Tree. They're stackable. The link that I've shown you below is something similar. I thought for sure I could find this on the Dollar Tree website, but no, I've just found them in stores. They're in the store almost every time I go. So hopefully you have good luck finding these. They're acrylic bins, they're stackable. This is votive candles I have in mine. And welcome, Linda. I'm glad you're here today. You can see what's inside here. So there's really no need for a label, but I have labeled these just so that they looked prettier, and these are those labels I'm giving you free with that downloadable link. If you like them, click it and you will get them for free. But the trend is for less words. So you know, the last 5 years have been a lot of words, a lot of sayings in our homes, a lot of labeling with words, a lot of cricket words, and that's all fine and good. But it makes it harder for you to adapt and move around the containers you've already labeled. And it also makes it harder for you to change things if you decide, oh wait, I don't want to put that there, but I've already labeled that space. So in 2023, I think we're going to see less labeling or no labeling, or just more neutral labeling, less words, less visual kind of clutter. The other item I want to show you in this vein are these pantry boxes. Now these are from Dollar Tree as well. I've linked to them below. They come with these blue lids. You can see that kind of on the underside, the blue cast. I spray paint them all on top silver so that they match. I just think it looks a little bit more high end. But these are the perfect size, and you would not believe how much dry goods these actually hold. They hold 2 or 3 bags of brown sugar. They hold a whole bag of flour. They don't look like they're that big, but they hold a lot. And what I like about them is the square sides. I can fit them all right next to each other in my pantry. They look very visually appealing. So if you like that look of no label, you can see through this. You can see it's oats. I've also labeled this one with my little labels that I'm giving you free for the download. But it's just a very simple label. It's just a very clean look, not a lot of visual clutter. Okay, so if you're just joining me, we're talking about the 7 trends we're gonna see for organizing in 2023. We've talked about natural products versus acrylic, function versus look, less stuff to store, simpler or no labeling, and then the 5th thing we're gonna talk about is thrifted and upcycled storage. Now, you all know, if you've been watching my channel, that I do this all the time. I have many objects around my home that I have thrifted and upcycled, including a lot of the clothes that I wear, and I really believe in upcycling. Hello, Reclaim Treasure. It's good to have you with us today. I don't have anything specific to show you, but if you guys have thrifted or upcycled items that you use in your organizing, comment and let me know what they are. We're going to see a lot of thrifting in 2023, a lot of thrifting. We've just started on that little peak of that wave, which is great news for those of us who have been doing it for years. We already have the idea. We know what to look for, what not to look for. But a lot of thrifted items can be reused at a much cheaper price point than going out or on Amazon or Target or IKEA and buying more expensive items. So put that in the back of your mind, using things you already have, things that you can thrift, or maybe you have a girlfriend or a family member whose house you can kind of shop. You know, you may not be using things that they need and vice versa. So think about that when you're talking about organizing things before you go out and buy a whole bunch of new stuff. So the 6th trend for 2023 in organizing that we're going to see is going to be solid versus clear. So I talked a little bit about this in number 1 when we talked about natural elements versus acrylic. I found a really cute example of this, and this is again in that Walmart Dollar Tree type section. It says treat yourself. This was $3. It's a tin. And guess what I'm going to put in here? You guys who are followers know about my little Princess Bella. It says treat yourself. She's a small dog. She's a dachshund. So we don't get her a lot of big calorie-rich treats because dachshunds are really prone to gaining weight. I go to Dollar Tree. This is my little trick. And I get some cat food. And then I just fill her little treat container with that. She's listening. I know she's hearing me. She'll make an appearance here in a second. And I'm filling this with cat food, and then each of these little pellets is the perfect size treat for her. Do you want one? She's sitting right here today, being such a good girl. Such a good girl. Do you want a treat? Yeah, she loves those. So that's an idea for you. But the topic is solid versus clear. I don't really want to see my dog treats on display, so this is a great container for that. The other thing I'm going to tell you, if you find a lot of clear bins visually distracting for you, and you just feel like, oh my gosh, when I see that stuff, it's just so distracting. Like the colors that I have here, this is more the home edit look, but some people just like to look at no color. These Walmart bins are one of my favorites, and this one comes in this gray, kind of a barnwood look, but most of them are under $10. They're collapsible. I used this pattern in my husband's office redo. If you go back about a month, you'll see there were 2 of those, 2 office redos. It was a series that I did for him. And these just work really well. I have probably 20 of these in almost every room of my house. So if clear organizers are visually distracting for you, go with something solid like these bins, and it'll look cleaner, it'll look better for you, and that's a trend for 2023. Okay, so the last one we're gonna talk about, this is a trend for 2023, but it's also just common sense and ways that I've started thinking since we've downsized a lot. And that is using our vertical space. So we're talking about the backs of cabinet doors, we're talking about the backs of doors, we're talking about walls, versus having a lot of things stacked on the floor. And that's really important when you have a smaller space. Hi Heidi, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to show you 3 items. Let me clear some space here. I'm going to show you 3 items that I found at IKEA that I absolutely love. They're very, very affordable. I'm going to be using a couple of these in an upcoming closet redo that I'm going to do, haul closet. The first one I want to show you are these racks, and they're called Grejig, G-R-E-J-I-G. These retail at IKEA for $6, just under $6. They come like this. And what you do is you pull the legs out, and they're really, really sturdy. They're metal. Comment below and let me know if you have used these. That's a great shelf. It's a very sturdy shelf. The thing I love most about these is you can stack them 3 tall. So the instructions say only 3, no higher, or it's not really stable. And the legs kind of rest into each other. So this is something that I am going to be using in my hall closet. And the little plastic shoe organizer boxes fit just right in here. These legs kind of click in here and make it more stable. So if you can see that, that's a lot of area that we're using vertically, especially in a closet. I originally thought I would use these for shoes, but then I found something I liked better from Walmart. So this is a great vertical organizer. You may want to check that out if you're an IKEA fan. The second one I'm going to show you, shoes are a big deal to store. And I took that on in my closet, my bedroom closet overhaul. And I did a lot of shopping around about shoe storage systems, and I found these from IKEA. It's called Mervel. It's a shoe organizer. It only costs $1.50 per unit. And what you do is you put I didn't bring a pair of shoes, so I'm just going to kick off my shoes and put them in here. You put one shoe going this way in your closet, and then you put the other shoe on top of that. Okay, so you've created twice the space in the vertical storage when you do it that way. If you have a hall closet, if you have a really small area, or just like an underbed space that you want to store shoes in, these would be awesome for you. They're only $1.50 a piece. If you don't like the color, you could spray paint them. I think it's kind of a nice neutral gray. So those are from IKEA. They're linked below for you if you're curious. And then the last thing I'm going to show you from IKEA is a set of 3 frosted boxes. Now these are a very popular item. These are something that have kind of been tried and true for years and years. They're 3 for $4, and when you get them, they come unassembled. All you do is just pop that little lid on. So they look like this once you've popped the lid on, and they do come in different colors. I prefer just the frosted white color, but you notice it has like a Lego pattern on the top, and that's so that the feet can click in. So the feet of one click into the feet of another, and this allows you to stack them on top of each other. They're really, really stable. So maybe you want to put something in a box that, you can't see everything in there, but you can kind of tell what it is. These are perfect for you. They're 3 for $4 at IKEA. Okay, that's what I have for you today, my friends. It's been so fun getting together with you. I had so much fun doing this craft room organization this week, and I hope you got some great ideas. I am coming up this week with even more small space organizing for you, so make sure and comment below. I love hearing from you. I read every single one of your comments. I hope that you know that. This is a real person behind the YouTube channel. And the best thing you can do is tell me what you need and you want, because I want to make content that helps you the most. So have a wonderful Saturday, and until we see each other next time, remember, today is not the end of your story, my friend, so just keep